Welcome back to a Life Under Construction podcast. I'm your host, Rhoda Daniel, and I'm glad to welcome you to yet another episode of Season 2, where we've been talking about man's search for meaning. Today's episode is inspired by The Book of Ichigo Ichii by Hector Garcia and Francesca Morales. Now, Ichigo Ichii is a Japanese term, a Japanese proverb, which essentially means what we are experiencing right now will never happen again. And therefore, we must value each moment like a treasure. In today's world, we have other variations of this term. We say, live in the moment, carpe diem, seize the day, YOLO, you only live once. However, I think that how we have interpreted these terms are a little different from what the Japanese were trying to say. When I was younger, I was very fascinated by the term carpe diem, that means seize the day, primarily because that was the only Latin word that I could remember and pronounce, but also because it gave me a sense of wanting adventure. How I interpreted carpe diem was do something risky, go be adventurous, make something of your life. Many of us might interpret it in the same way. When we talk about seizing the day, we are talking about our desires. We want to make more money, we want to travel, we want to relax, we want more time with friends, we want to do something that makes us happy, we want to enjoy our life, we want to seize the day. But when we talk to people who actually have only this day to seize, when we talk to people who have to face the reality of death, not in the way that we have to because we have a lifetime ahead of us, but people who know they don't have much time to live, like the man who has cancer who has been given just 3 months to live, or the little girl who has HIV and doesn't know when that disease is going to kill her. When you ask them what it means to seize the day, they're not just talking about their pleasures, they're not just talking about their enjoyment or their life. They're thinking about what they're leaving behind on this earth. They're thinking about what they can do to contribute. For them, that is seizing the day. And I believe that it is they who face the reality of death who truly understand what it means to live in the moment, to live each day as if it were their last, to know that this moment that we are living in is not going to come back again, and to understand that that is why we need to treasure each and every moment. Because if we let this moment slip by, it will be lost forever. If we let today pass, we never know if tomorrow is gonna be ours. That is the concept of Ichigo Ichii. There is an old Tibetan legend that illustrates this concept very beautifully. There's a story about a hunter who was pursuing deers on the Himalayas. He was pursuing these deer across the frozen peaks when he came upon a mountain split in two, and he could see through that split to the other side. Standing beside that opening in the mountain was an old man with a long beard who beckoned the hunter to come closer and see. Through that sliver, he was able to look into the other side, and what he saw left him breathless. He saw what could only be described as paradise. He saw a fertile garden bathed in sunlight that seemed to go on forever. He saw children playing amongst the trees that were full of fruit. He saw animals frolicking in a world that was filled with beauty and serenity and abundance. "Do you like what you see?" the old man asked him. "Of course, I like it," the hunter replied. "It looks like paradise." "Indeed it is," the old man said, "and you have found it. Why don't you come inside and live happily ever after?" The hunter was ecstatic. He said, "Of course I want to come in, but first let me go back and get my family and my friends and bring them back so that they can experience this place as well." The old man frowned slightly and said, "As you wish, but remember the gates only open once in a lifetime." The hunter nodded and said, "I won't be long," and he ran off to find his family and his friends. And he went to his village and he brought them back. But by the time they had returned, the mountain pass had closed, never to open again. This hunter had found paradise, but he missed it, never to find it again. Life offers us access to paradise in different moments of our life, in different instances. And as we say yes to those opportunities, we take one step closer to what we were supposed to do in our life, what we were created to do in our life, what we were born to do on this earth. That is the reality of life. That is the reality of each and every moment that we live. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, but every moment is fleeting. Every encounter that you have is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Every day is a gift. And that is why it's called the present. I know it's cheesy, but it's true. The present is a gift that we have been given every single day, 365 days in a year, to open up, to take out what is for us. But if we miss out, if we are distracted, if we are running back to call our family and friends, we miss out on what life has to offer us. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, am I opening up this gift, this daily gift of life that is being offered to me, or am I wasting it? One of the ways we waste it is by sitting in anger. Anger is something that is a reaction to a situation that has happened to us, and that often keeps us tied to the past. Therefore, we are not living in the present. Sadness is another such emotion. Sadness keeps us focused on what we have lost, what is not to be, what no longer exists, what we had wanted but didn't get. Again, it keeps us tied to the past and doesn't let us focus on what is right in front of us today. So if you find yourself sitting with sadness, sitting with anger, take some time to release it. Take some time to let it go. Because if you want to go find your way to paradise, if you want to find your way to that calling that is on your life, if you want to live a life of purpose and meaning, then you can't carry the baggage of your past with you. Yes, things have happened, loss has happened, things have not worked out our way, but do we carry that with us, or do we leave it behind and believe that there is something more better for us that is going to come up if we just wait and see and look around in our present moment? Fear, worry, and anxiety are other emotions that keep us focused on the future. They're as bad as thinking about the past because, again, we're not thinking about the present. That is the gift. All of us have a tendency to assume and imagine the worst scenarios and think about it right now. Does it help? No. What will help is leaving the future where it needs to be and focusing on what we have right now and making the most of that. In the present, you need to dwell. You need to be still. You need to observe. Look around you. Look at the people that you have around you right now. Look at the opportunities that you have around you right now. Look at the place you're in right now. Just look around. When you look around your life, which is a miracle, by the way, you're going to be able to see things that you might have missed before. You're going to see connections. You're going to see opportunities. You're going to see things calling out to you. And just like that old man who beckoned the hunter to come in and look at paradise, we will be able to see that call on our lives. But have we been still enough to notice? That hunter could have just rushed past that mountain without noticing that crack in between, if he was so focused on that deer, which was his future. If we are not still enough, if we are not observant enough, if we are not dwelling in our present life, living each moment as if it was our last, we will not notice that crack in the mountain. We will not notice that old man calling out to us. We will not notice paradise, and that will pass us by. We can also miss that little sliver that points us to paradise if we are too busy with distractions. Today, everything is a distraction. I think we are unfortunate to be living in a world that, yes, is connected, yes, has all the privileges that technology provides, but is constantly distracted. The phone that we have in our hands all the time is the biggest distraction. The Netflix or the television that we have access to all the time is a distraction. Sometimes people, constantly being around people, constantly being in touch with people through social media or through texting, through FaceTime, is a distraction. If you want to truly savor the present moment, if you truly want to remember each day, you need to put away those distractions. You need to find time and space and silence. We need space and silence to notice. We need space and silence to think. We need space and silence to savor our lives, to think about the good things about our life, to experience every single moment to the fullest. Many times you will notice this, that you will not remember what happened in your day because you were doing too many things at the same time. You would be watching a movie while scrolling on your phone, while talking to your spouse, and you don't remember the conversation you had with your spouse, neither do you remember the details of the movie that you watched, nor do you know what you were doing on your phone. You were doing 3 things, but none of them stick because you couldn't give all of yourself to either one of these things. That is the problem of distraction. We are not fully present in our own lives, and that is why our life is passing us by and we don't even remember. If we look back at this year, we might not even realize, except for the fact that we turn a year older, or we celebrate another anniversary, or we get another promotion. Apart from that, we don't know what we did with our lives because we were too busy with things that at the end of the day do not matter. Let go of anything that is not essential for your life. Let go of anything that is holding you back from living the life that you were meant to live. That hunter needed to let go of his family and his friends because that path was his unique purpose. It was not meant for his family and friends. They would have their own unique path and they would have their own unique paradise. But because he was not able to let go of them, because he wanted to go and bring them, he lost out on what was meant to be his. In the same way, we might have to let go of, as we talked about earlier, fear and anxiety and sadness and anger and bitterness and unforgiveness, because these are things that cannot go into paradise with us. They cannot go with us because it's baggage. It's heavy. We cannot go to high places with heavy baggage. We have to let things go. We might need to let go of some people who are holding us back, who don't understand what we are trying to do with our lives, who are trying to keep us down, trying to keep us small, trying to keep us limited. We might have to let go of expectations because expectations often lead to disappointments. We might have to let go of burdens put on us by other people. We might have to let go of bad habits that we know are causing us to waste our day. They might be pleasurable in the moment, but our days are passing us by. Let all of these things go so that you are free to live as if there's no tomorrow. You're free to live as if all that is happening today is gonna happen just once in your life. If you're with a friend, be with that friend fully. Give them your full attention. Listen into the conversation. Ask questions as if you're not going to meet that friend again. Just see how enriching that experience is going to be. If you're working on something at work, give it your all. Do your best as if you're never going to work on that again. Just see what a difference that will make to the quality of your work. Whatever you do, do it with all your heart. Give yourself fully up for that moment. Live as if it was the last day on earth. Choose to do things that you would want to do on your last day on earth, because then even if you do not wake up tomorrow, you will know that you did your best in whatever little time that you had. When we are conscious of living our best life every single day, when we ensure that we are giving our best to whatever it is that we do every single day, life doesn't leave us in the lurch. Life always presents opportunities to us. Life always gives us things that lead us to our destiny. If I look at my life, I see the connecting dots. I see the things that I was interested in. I see the things that I said yes to that have made me who I am today and have helped me pursue the life that I'm pursuing. I also know that there were many days where I was distracted, many days where I was sitting in sadness, many days when I was choosing to escape from life rather than dwell in it, that I have missed certain opportunities. I have missed certain lessons. I have missed learning something new because I was too involved in things that in the long run do not matter. Now I'm still alive today, and so missing those opportunities might not seem like a big deal. But what if I had died at 20? What if I didn't live past 25? I shudder to think about that because I would have missed out on what life wanted me to do. The old man is standing there calling you in to paradise. Firstly, are you available enough to notice him? Secondly, are you courageous enough to say yes and step in to your happily ever after? All of us have a purpose in life, a unique purpose in life, and we need to step into that purpose. We need to step into that calling. One day, we will all die, that's the truth. But today, we live. And what are we doing with our today? I truly hope and pray that all of us, including me, make that choice to live in the moment, to notice what is happening in our life, to let go of the past, forget about the future, and truly live in the moment so that we can step into that paradise that was created just for us. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again next week with another topic that will help you live a life of purpose and help you live the life that you were always meant to live.